Yo guys, welcome to the last lap. Don't forget to drop a lovely, juicy 5-star rating if you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Hope you enjoy, and let's get into it.
Certain someone hasn't watched Drive to Survive yet this year.
Sorry, lads.
But I would say, overall, having watched all of it, generally, I would say it's been a strong season. There's been a bit less baity stuff. Few, little sound effects out of place, but nothing I think that fundamentally changes what's happening
during the season.
But there were some, again, look, we're not going to go over all the races and all the season, but there were, I think the bits that we look for as fans who are really invested is like the extra little nuggets of information or extra little insights that we get. And obviously it's been doing the rounds on socials, the team principal meeting.
Oh, I love that.
What do we make of it?
It was kind of, I mean, first of all, I do think that 20% of what Toto was saying was for the cameras, where he was like, you know, if we have a safety issue, it's going to be on you. And I was like, chill out, bro. It was a little bit for the cameras. And even Christian Horner's like, you know, is this just for the cameras? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Yeah, I'll come for you. And it's just like, chill out, mate, chill out. But I do like to see that, you know, either way.
Scary man, though.
Yeah.
Big scary man. But
I mean,
the thing about Drive to Survive for me is that I don't even like enjoy the actual races part because like I've already seen them. You know, I've already seen the entire race.
You skip over the races, don't you?
Sometimes I do, yeah, because like I've already seen like because some of the radios are not real. Like some of them are not even from that race, so I don't need to watch kind of a fake narrative of a race. But what I like is the little behind the scenes bit, like like that team principals like meeting where you can see Toto. He's scrambling because the others, they've been watching him for years win all of these championships, and he's buzzing, he's loving it, and like, and now they're just like he's been losing for 1 year, and already he's calling for like all of the cars to change, but. Christian Horner was right. If you can't make your car right, it's your car ultimately. You know, it's not our fault that you can't build a good car anymore. So, you know, Toto was kind of he didn't really have a point in my opinion. Like there was a safety point, yes, but you know he was doing it for performance.
Yeah, I mean,
he was just doing it because he wanted to change.
Well, of course he did. Yeah, I mean, of course he's going to want a change that favours his team. That's again the job of the team principal. But you always, whenever you listen to any of these team principals, doesn't matter who it is, they're always going to be speaking in their best interest, and it's up to us to decide who we think is right, who think's giving a good compelling argument. Although I love it, it's like when he was like, "Oh, Checo's been saying about it," and it's like, "I've printed it out. Show me. Where's the ring binder?"
I really do also love, like, especially Mattea, Toto, and Christian. They basically all three of them at different points like gang up on each other when it's like convenient. So like during the I think that porpoising episode, it was like
it's like Mean Girls.
It was like it was like Mattea and Christian were like ganging up on Toto, and then during the cost gap saga, it was Toto and Mattea that were like talking about Christian, and Christian walks out and he's like, have you guys been talking about me? And Toto was like, yep. Yeah. Basically just shit talking about you, mate. So they gang up on each other when it's like convenient. I actually love it. Yeah. But yeah, I think that my favorite bit was the Piastri saga though. Like seeing Otmar, like seeing the little juicy bits of like when Otmar walked. You need to watch them, mate. It's actually the best.
Okay, I need to get involved.
5 and 6, those episodes.
Yeah, Otmar really walking into Zach Brown's office basically saying like, listen, what's going on? How did you
boom arms just like
Netflix
stuck
boom
into
arm.
like a vent so that you can pick up the audio.
And
he was very echoey.
And the thing is, Zach, because obviously Zach needed to get rid of Ricardo because obviously he had 20 mil on the books, and he was basically trying to like, you know, let's do a swap. You know, Oscar wants to come to us, like we'll give you a Ricardo. You know,
that's wild.
And there was like an Alpine, like Daniel was chatting to, and from you know some people I've spoken to as well. Like, it feels like the team at Alpine, the actual personnel would have welcomed Daniel back with open arms.
Yeah, that was amazing. Some people there was like a scene. Alpine personnel basically just said, "We want to see you back, man." Like that was a cool scene.
Which was really
that's
nuts.
what I watch Drive to Survive for. I don't watch it for like the race coverage because like I can see the race. I've watched it. I watch for the bits that we never see. You know, actual
no one would have
Alpine,
ever known that.
Exactly,
like,
Alpine personnel like telling to Ricardo just straight up like, we want you back, man. We'd love to see you here. So.
And I think that because obviously there was certainly, and I understand it, I think there was a lot of, you know, with Ricardo losing his seat last year, I think there was a lot of, you know, people upset with McLaren that, you know, they pulled the rug out from under Daniel and all that. I get it. It kind of goes both ways because obviously Daniel wasn't performing on track and McLaren have to secure their future. And if they think a driver like, I think if a Piastri, a driver as an exciting a prospect as Piastri isn't available, then maybe they stick with Ricardo because they had to pay out like a lot of money to Daniel to get shot of him early. But also it seems that, you know, Zach did want to manifest some kind of swap deal.
Because for him it would have worked, but they wouldn't have had to buy out Ricciardo's contract.
Yeah, I'm sure for Zach's conscience, because I don't think he's inhuman as much as it's brutal at the top of F1. I think he wanted to. Daniel brought him his first win in Formula One, and he's got a tattoo to remember it. Like that will never go. And yeah, I do wonder. After that, I was thinking, what do you two think? Do you think they made the right decision going for Gasly over Ricciardo, Alpine?
What do you think, Niran? Gasly or Ricciardo at Alpine right now up against Ocon?
I would choose Ricciardo, I actually would.
Same.
But the thing is,
I feel like I would as well.
you know what it is? I would choose Ricciardo, but I would say Esteban. It's been nice knowing you.
Out the door, P45.
Gasly and Ricciardo.
So you get both in.
With Red Bull linking it up, bro.
Oh, wow.
Vibe check.
Didn't see that coming.
Vibe check. That's
is
a little bit harsh on Esteban. But in terms of
That's a bit harsh on Esteban, yeah.
choosing
he's
between
all right.
Gasly and Ricciardo, no, I'd probably go with
Why? But why? What are your...
because it worked. It worked under that.
Yeah.
If we look at Ricciardo, if we're taking Ricciardo's last 2 years, obviously yes, they were like borderline disaster to be honest with you,
Absolute
McLaren. But under that environment, when it was Renault, he slapped. Daniel Ricciardo at Renault was sick.
He was unreal.
They were
best of the
arguably
rest,
his best
like-
years, I think. Because it's impressive what he did in Red Bull, but to take a midfield team like Renault and fight at the front, where you're more likely to get caught out in qualifying, you're more likely to get stuck in the midfield. To do what he did, I thought was...
Unfortunately, I feel like those years get forgotten because they were a little bit
Short memories,
boring.
yeah.
Like genuinely, those years of F1 were kind of
Yeah,
God,
I think
Mercedes are absolutely dominating. It was
2019, 2020 gets forgotten. You're totally right. But what's really strange is that that was amazing kind of years by him. And I feel like I would have gone with Ricciardo as well. But I will also say, just to kind of defend Gasly, I don't think it's a lose-lose. I think it's a win-win, to be honest. Like Gasly is he's still a youngish, kind of hungry driver. I don't think he's going to do a bad job or much worse than what Ricciardo could have done. But I think it was more about the mindset of Daniel. Is he really mentally all there and ready to go again, ready to be back in the midfield at the absolute pressure? Everyone's looking on him. What about if he failed again in 2023 at Alpine? His career actually would have been over because we still have those kind of that silver lining or some of those good years that we remember of him at Red Bull. And, we're going to kind of forget the, in the grand scheme of his career, we're going to forget the McLaren years, I think. So there would have been a lot of pressure for him to deliver at Alpine if he did go there. And I'm not sure if he would have been able to, to handle it if it didn't go well.
Yeah, because my biggest... I've got kind of two caveats with Gasly, because he's won a race, he's done bits. In 2021, he was incredible. He was best of the rest a lot of the time. The two things with Gasly, the quality of teammates he's gone up against, it's Max by far and away the best and got destroyed by Max, as many people do. Yeah. And then it's been Kvyat was okay, Tsunoda... a rookie. He hasn't had... You look at Esteban's teammates, and he's had Fernando, he's had Checo. Yeah. Two incredibly... And Daniel.
And Ricciardo.
Come on, he's had mad teammates already.
Yeah. And Verline.
and Verline.
Give a shout out to Verline.
Verline was sick as well,
yeah.
It was. That's why, I found this amazing. Last year was the first time in Ocon's career where he beat a teammate in the championship.
Yeah.
Wow. First time. But
True.
that doesn't tell you all the story. He has had unreal teammates.
His teammates have been...
And he's always been competitive against them. Coming back in 2020 up against Ricciardo was a little bit rough, but he bounced back straight away and that's why he got that long-term contract off the back of how well he started 2021 against Fernando.
Him versus Perez was a dogfight as well.
But also...
scrapping it out sometimes.
Literally.
Putting all the narrative of Gasly-Ocon beef to one side, when you look at Ocon's relationship with teammates in terms of he will fight them all to will, but also Gasly, he's an emotional driver. He's definitely been guilty of, throwing his toys at the pram a few times. We saw it, his frustration bubble over AlphaTauri. And I think that combination, I do genuinely worry. And it's not about any nonsense bollocks from the past. It's about, you look at Ricciardo and Ocon, they worked as teammates, they worked together. And yes, if Ocon's closer to Ricciardo, then maybe it would get a bit more feisty. But yeah, that's why I also would have gone. If I was in charge, I would have gone.
The plus point of having Ricciardo there is I don't think he's ever built a toxic relationship with any teammate. Even if he's getting slapped up by a teammate or he's absolutely pounding them, he still is a nice guy to have
over a bit
around.
with Max, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
They kept their personal relationship quite Well, I think it was a bit. It must have been a bit frosty. It
probably was a little
they're great
bit.
now.
Yeah. It was.
I think it was always great. Like even in 2018 when they crashed into each other, I don't remember it being like massively bad. You know,
it never boiled over like it was never like a Rosberg fucking.
Yeah.
No,
never,
you know what though, right? So
chucks his cap.
you remember Vettel? You remember Vettel Hamilton when Vettel drove into Hamilton in Baku?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was like, you know, petulance. Seb was like, you know, fuming after. Lewis was obviously fuming.
Use this car as a weapon. Arrest him now.
But they said afterwards, they were like, you know, that after that incident, they got closer. They became closer because then Seb went to Lewis, they talked it out, and they become better mates after that.
Yeah.
It's like this whole suck my balls thing with like Kevin and
that people are still bringing up right now as if that's going to like
Kevin and Nico. They're fine about it. They joke about it.
That's probably what the group chat's called.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's fine.
Maybe. We'll just call suck my balls, do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon.
In that same chat.
Gunsteiner definitely allows that.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
he
Like,
facilitates.
he's a bit.
He set up the group. He's admin.
Yeah.
But the thing is, imagine that chat popping up on someone's phone that you're next to. You're like, whoa, what is going on there?
Nico Hulkenberg's wife sees that, goes, "What the fuck is going on?"
Hold on a minute.